6. So Vishy can take an exchange.
Took on c1.
He has taken on c1 and Magnus recaptured with the rook.
With the rook.
So the rook is hanging and g7 pawn is hanging. This is probably the idea of
this
Magnus
bishop on
Carlsen.
b2 is
the bishop is a monster.
And time we can see that it's equal 7 minutes for both players.
Yeah, what I can say that black would probably be fine if white would take on d8. So far, Carlsen is not going to take the rook. He really wants to take the g7 pawn or force it to move. Like you play g6 and then you probably resign after queen c3, right? If you let this diagonal to
maybe
be
he has
open.
to, Anand has to leave the queen from 7th rank.
Like queen e8.
Yeah,
maybe.
and then captured
maybe.
these 2 pieces with the rook.
Yeah, I mean, so if I take on g7, yes, it's an extra piece, but now probably take. Or I can
Queen
actually
C3.
Still try queen c3. Yes, can still try queen c3. Looks like it's a good idea for Magnus. I don't know if he's objectively better, but I kind of like his position. So wishes to move. He's down to 7 minutes and he doesn't really, I mean, he's not looking satisfied with how it is going for him.
I'm looking to the females section, and I can say that all the top players, they are playing so stable games, and while we already have some results and very spicy positions in the men's section.
Yeah, and
actually in classical it's the opposite. Men are playing very stable and women have some.
Yeah, so it's strangely enough, it's not that sharp as you would expect, right? No, okay, there are sharp games as well. There are sharp games, but on the very top board, it's just that, most of our leaders, now it's Goryachkina, Famlethao, and Zhu Wenjun, they all are players of positional style, I would say. They're trying to be as solid as possible, so this explains, and maybe this partly explains why they are so successful. Because one of the possible styles in Rapid, it's just you don't. Finally, Vishy comes up with the move knight c8. A desperate try to swap the queens. Right?
It's not b5 pawn hanging right now?
Yeah, I was trying to understand what happens if black takes, if white takes b5. Apparently he's taking there, and then if the knight takes...
Why not with the rook?
With the rook maybe. So rook takes... If bishop takes, it's rook takes again, and
now it's a double attack.
This is hanging, which might be not the end of the line, but yeah, it is. I don't really see what to do here. It's like queen c4, we take.
And there is queen b4. Queen b4.
Queen b4.
To keep
so
pressure on b7.
The bishop is hanging. There is queen b4. You're right. Now, of course, if it would be trivial, the refutation of knight c8, then Vishy simply would not go for this. So it's not that, and it shouldn't be that easy for Magnus. One more time. So if this happens, I was actually thinking of bishop takes, but probably I was wrong. Like bishop takes, knight d8. My point was that black takes on f3. And I thought the knight is trapped, but it's probably wrong. No, it's completely wrong, because it's a check, and at least he can take the knight on c8. Oops.
Actually, there's knight f7, queen f7, and then take on c8, and it's a mate. Or rook.
So now Magnus is those two guys, they're playing like it's a it's a long time control game.
Yes.
It's so interesting.
I'm not sure, but what we can see is 4 minutes for Carlsen and 6 minutes for Anand.
Yeah, 4 and 4.5 for Magnus, and he still did not come up with the move. Yasipenko and Swidler, interestingly enough, the game on board 3, it's already an end game. So it's
Really?
so different. Yes, here we have like position full of pieces. Yasipenko Swidler is an end game with extra pawn for Peter Swidler, so it's only him who can win this game, but there is a fair chance it will be just a draw. We shall see. It's still, I mean, I'm still not 100% sure what will be the result here. It's position with opposite colored bishops. Pawn up for Swidler. Good chances for a draw for a young gentleman, but still hard to say. Queen takes b5. You were asking what happens after queen b5. Now we will find out. Now we
something
will find
happens.
out. 2 times rook takes d5. But yeah, we've guessed the line. And
Come
queen
on, we
b4.
guessed this on a second.
And now he probably has to swap the queens. That's what I thought. And then see what he has to do, to be honest. When the feeling is like he has to exchange the queens because it's his king which is worse placed. He cannot take on e6 because queen b7 and just too many threats. Ah well, actually knight e7 kind of keeps everything protected, but it's still very, very dangerous. I think white is still better. He has played knight to d6, knight from c8 to d6, protecting the bishop, protecting the c4 pawn. Interesting.
Now one has to find a nice square for knight. It can be f4 or d4.
Yeah, but I'm starting to wonder if this square exists, because after this, queen e4 might be very unpleasant. Threatening, you know what, threatening mate in 2. Queen h1 and rook d1 double mate. If knight takes, I guess, I'm not sure, queen takes maybe to avoid the check from b8, right? Queen takes, once again, it looks terribly dangerous for black. For white, pardon, of course, for white. So
But
at
this
least
king can escape, you know?
king f1, yes, and then even like check here.
King e...
Maybe check on first rank, check from h1 and then check from f3.
King e1?
King e1, still it's not easy, right? Check, and where do you go? Then king d2, check, king c2, and we are running out of checks. So this is what happened to me. I was giving checks without any clear idea where it is going, and yeah, ended up having no more checks. Knight c5 played by Magnus. So it's clearly a provocation. Black can take on c5 and go queen e4. Do you see the move for white? Because I don't.
King f1.
I mean, probably it's king f1.
He also said escape on c2.
He also wants to.
But there is not.
But
knight
queen,
e4. Yeah, knight e4 can be happening.
there will be some issues with knight e4. So
But of course, white is not forced to go to d2. He can stay on e2, e1.
but wait, how do you do this? Check, and then I can give a
bishop
check
c.
with the bishop. I really don't understand what's that.
Oh, seriously, it's like 2 moves.
Check. I mean, it's one and only move. Check, and I take, and it's a piece up. So we are certainly missing something, because otherwise Wishy would have already gone for this. Rook takes c. He takes rook c5, queen c5, queen e4,
Oh my god.
or maybe it's Magnus who missed something. Maybe it's Magnus who missed something, because
Oh my
yeah.
god, yes.
And look at
probably.
Vishy. I mean, this usually, when he looks at you like this, and believe me, I've been in this situation once. When he looks at
So
you like
nervous.
this, it means you are in trouble, my friend. You are in trouble. No, and there is no way.
Oh my god.
There's absolutely no way to escape for this king. King f1 is, I mean, f3 is the move, but it doesn't really change
Is he
anything.
nervous now, or
It's
is he happy, or what's going
No,
on?
Vishy is, I mean, he's a predator now. I mean, he feels the prey. He smells it. And
Oh
yeah,
my
and it's
God.
now it's you know,
Knight
the game is
c5
still
was so terrible.
the game
blunder
was
in
still in
handshake.
progress, yeah, and but it was clear. It was clear Magnus has blundered big time with this knight c5. which tends to be just a one move error after rook c5.